Hi again, this is Gary Freedom from Freedom Music, and I promised some guests on my show. So tonight I have a guest here named Bob, and he's with the Skidder band, or Skinner Road.
Skidder Road.
Skidder Road
that
band. And Bob, if you'd like to introduce your band.
All right, well, this is our lead guitarist Claudia Badbrow. That's Paul Hislop, Dr. Smooth, our drummer, and John Lackard, who plays bass for us. And I'm Bob Skoronsky.
Well, Bob, I know we met in the hospital, the VA hospital.
Yeah, that happens.
And I understand that you work there and service the veterans there.
Well, I try to do the best I can. Yes, I'm a 20-year employee plus.
Okay. Now, the reason why my show is dedicated to the veterans and those that support the veterans. And I understand that you had musical talent, so I'm here to try to help you, get a band going for Channel 8 here, some sounds. So now, what made you decide on the type of music that you play?
Oh, what made it just got to be born with it. It's what you're attracted to, and that's the kind of thing I'm attracted to. A lot of people, our music, the music that Claudia and I primarily write, and then the rest of the band goes ahead and does their part. Nobody tells them what to do. They do whatever they're going to do. It's always an interesting surprise. But Randy Burns once told me that anybody can sing happy music. And I prefer music that has a meaning and has some substance to it in terms of the intellectual communication in the lyrics that's reinforced by the rhythm and the music itself. So that's why I do that. And I'm probably just a product of the 60s and 70s, so I think we all are.
Now, you play, I understand, lead guitar, and that you kind of have a special kind of lick, so to speak, or sound that you play. Now, you met Bob in a special way, like you were playing, he was there or whatever. How did that come about that your band got together to begin with?
Well, we met doing an open mic, and there was something about his songs that clicked with me, with my playing and with my train of thought. And we started playing together, and songs just materialized. I mean, it just happened. And so we would bring them to the open mic, and Paul, the drummer, and John have been longtime friends of mine, and I felt that if maybe we would sound good together, and we did. And week after week, we'd bring out new stuff, and it just kind of fell together. And it was a wonderful thing.
So is there any special place or anything that you want to go or attain?
Well, I think to add to this and flesh it out a little bit, I took guitar lessons at Blue Mountain Guitar for a long time. A fellow by the name of Wally Wisk, a lot of the people in the area would know Wally, and he encouraged me to go out and play. But it wasn't until I spoke with John Lackard, and John runs a very good open mic, and I think it's the best full band open mic in Vermont. You just don't find that kind of a thing. And he has always been very supportive of other musicians and is a good resource. He's a humble kind of guy, so he won't say that, so I'm saying it for him. What happened is he encouraged me to go out and play and come to his open mic, and he made it comfortable for me, and that's really how we all were able to come together. Otherwise, I would have been too shy to do it.
Okay, now on that note, I also understand you people have put a CD together.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
And that is another stroke of luck. You know, some things you just have happen. And a friend of mine, Bob DeMarco, who we were chums in grammar school, and through the rest of our life, we've always been friends. And Bob runs Otter Creek Music Productions, and he's a Celtic music guy. And he had the opportunity to work with an electric band. He never had done that. He did work with people that were wooden music. And so he came out and set up at my shop, my garage. I have a 20 by 20 room over there. And I think he did an outstanding job of recording us in that setting. And the songs were all done as one-take songs. We didn't have a chance to like really build it as often you see music done. So it's like a live recording.
Okay, so how can the folks, if they like to hear more of what you do?
Skidder Road Band CD. Well, there's a couple of ways. First of all, there's a CD Baby. You can find Skidder Road on CD Baby, as well as on Amazon.com. If you went to the music section there and looked under titles, put in the title of the band, which is Skidder Road, and the name of the CD is I Don't Want to Go to Heaven. So if you don't want to go to heaven and you want to take a hike down Skidder Road, you can just go there and you'll find the CD.
It's quite an interesting
or
way
MP3s.
That's quite a way to remember it. Now, so having said all that, what would you be doing first on one of your songs? What do you plan on?
What song will we do
Yeah.
first? Well, we're going to be doing a number of songs,
Okay.
I would imagine. So one song seems to always sort of set the tone, and that's a Randy Burns song. We'll open with that, I think. Don't you
The
want?
first song we're going to do is called Life's Begun by Randy Burns. She's an orphan, and she thinks she's all alone inside town. She brings me silver in the morning, and the afternoon as well. But it's alright. It's alright with me. But she wants to be free. Bending hands against the sun. and she thinks she's all alone. Yes, I'll be down. She brings me silver in the morning, in the afternoon as well. But it's alright, it's alright with me. She's being free. Bending edge against the sun. So don't you worry, life's begun. Say don't you worry, life's begun. Oh, say don't you worry, life's begun. Oh, life's begun.
Well, thank you for that rendition, and John, I understand that you have a job at, or you work rather, at Blue Mountain Guitar, and I understand that you might be able to get the CD from your store.
Yeah, we have a lot of local music down there actually, and Skidder Road is included in the offerings.
And I understand that you do teaching there as well. People can come and learn how to play instruments or whatever. Do you have that?
We do
ability?
offer that. I'm not a teacher at the store,
Okay.
but we do offer lessons on a multitude of instruments besides guitar, bass, mandolin, banjo, keyboard. We have vocal instruction, so there's quite a bit there.
And drums too, don't you?
Drums as well. Yeah.
Wow, it sounds like it's pretty well put together. Well, then in that case, we'll go on to your next selection of music.
What do you say we do the budget deal? The budget deal is a song that we wrote after observing Washington's confusion over our national budget.
All right, that sounds great. So here's the Skidder Band Road, or Skidder Road Band. I'll get it right. Here's the Skidder Road Band doing their another song for us.
He says we're ready? Yep.
The next song we would like to do is called The Budget Deal, one of our own original songs. Well, let's start that over again. We started doing another song. Sorry about that, Jerry.
Take two.
Take two. This next song we'd like to do is called The Budget Deal, one of our original songs. Did you see the serve was written on police cruisers in Vermont. There was a time we were free here. This is the kind of government we want. My father flew the Pacific and battled the Guadalcanal. My uncle Carmen died of casino. Breathing down, breathing down, oh, breathing down, breathing down, breathing down.
Okay, Bob, for our next song, what do you have in mind?
Well, I think we will do the Old Soldier song. This song features Dr. Smooth. And
For our next song, we're going to do one of our originals called The Old Soldier. A little boy sang all day long. A little boy sang his marching song in his backyard. Soldiers never die. Oh, soldiers never die. Oh, soldiers never die. They just fade away. They just fade away. A little boy sang all day long. A little boy sang his marching song in his backyard. Soldiers never die. But he was told a lie. Oh, soldiers never die. They're hidden from view. marching song in his backyard. Old soldiers never die in his backyard. Old soldiers never die in his backyard. Old soldiers never die in his backyard. Old soldiers never die. They're hidden from view. Ah, they're hidden from view. They're hidden from you.
Earlier we spoke, you and I spoke about my involvement with veterans. Well, I remember my dad, who was a veteran and who suffered severely with PTSD. And I lost my Uncle Carmen in the Italian campaign in World War II. And those people come to mind when I think of these songs. And the Old Soldier song in particular was something very, there was a song by Gene Autry related to General MacArthur's statements before the joint session of Congress when he was pulled by Harry Truman, President Harry Truman, out of Korea, in which he said, "Old soldiers never die, they just fade away." Well, that seemed very nice to say. It has this smooth sailing kind of view, but the reality is I knew people like my father and the men and the women that I take care of at the VA. And as a veteran, I know, and I know all the good work that you do at the VA, that you see a lot of people that are really hidden from view. They're not out in the public eye. They're not over there in the mainstream of society very often. And those people don't just fade away. They're hidden from view.
Yeah.
And that's the thrust of that song.
And they need our love, and they need our we need to look after them, and we want to get them in the public's eye. And this is part of what the show is all about, is get the hospital as well as the people that take care of our veterans and the veterans in the public eye so they can be noticed and they don't fade away and they aren't blocked out and they aren't put in the background.
Most of society, I think you might agree, do not understand them, can never understand them. I wasn't in the service, but through talking with veterans, I see what they're willing to share that they've went through, and that's why they are a subgroup within our society. And there are some members of that group that do very well. And then there's others that have been so badly damaged
Yeah.
that they're at risk of suicide. And we have a lot of that among veterans. And it's for those people what we do this song.
So, you know, we try to lift them up and get them before the public eye, and also get them out of their situation and back into the public eye, and able to live amongst us again and feel good about themselves, and
Yeah.
not have as many problems and cares, we hope. And I understand that John also has a way that he does that, in a way on an open mic. Is that correct, that you have an open mic gig, so to speak?
I do, yeah. Right now, it's split between a couple of locations.
Okay.
One is up in Chelsea, a place called the Pines, and the other one is at the Green Mountain Tavern in Barry, Vermont. And different weeks, the 1st and 3rd at the Pines, 2nd and 4th at Barry at the Green Mountain Tavern.
Okay, so this happens every month, twice a month, but the first and 3rd, and the 2nd and 4th, depending on what the week is, depends on where the open mic is.
That's right, yeah. Originally, when we met Bob, it was all in one nice tidy location up in Barry at a place called Gusto's. And we may be picking that back up as a steady every week thing again. When the weather breaks, they want to hold off until it gets a little nicer. They have a nice deck out back and all that sort of thing.
So could you give us basically where they are one more time on the 1st and 3rd week, and then the 2nd and 4th week?
The 1st and 3rd week is in Chelsea, Vermont at a place called the Pines.
Okay.
And the 2nd and 4th week is in Barry, Vermont at the Green Mountain Tavern.
Well, thank you, and I hope that a lot of people have a chance to enjoy that and go to even if they don't sing or whatever, they can show up and listen and enjoy the
encourage
music.
that for sure.
But even if, you know, it's a good chance to get out and meet people and see what everybody can do.
Right.
This next song we do is one of our originals, and it's called No Matter How I Try. Oh, it's 4 in the morning, Oh, it's 4 in the morning. The snow is falling down. I sit by the window in silence all around and wonder why you're so unhappy. What I can do to make things right. Why you're so unhappy, babe, no matter how I try.
Paul, how did you get interested in drums?
It's so long ago I can hardly remember, but I've basically been beating on things, pounding on things, tapping on things for years and years and years. I played guitar when I was like 7 or 8. I got a guitar for Christmas, and I tried that, and I did okay a little bit, but I broke a string, and I kind of fell by the wayside. But I just kept tapping around, and my grandmother noticed that, and one year she gave me lessons and all the stuff I needed for the lessons for Christmas, and I've just been going ever since.
Well, that sounds interesting. It sounds like you had, but you're tapping on things and
Just beating on stuff all the time, just a nervous energy of
you
some
made all
sort.
that come into a beat, a regular beat. and
Just
that sounds
focused it
pretty
into a direction that, was positive.
good. Okay.
For our next song, we'd like to do Salsa in Vermont, one of our instrumentals. Thank you.
Well, with that, I thank everyone, and thank you for being on the show, and we'll look forward to the next song and hopefully your next visit.
Thank you very much.
This is gonna be one.
Well, for our next song, we're going to do our take on a song called Maggot Brain, but we call it Chemo Brain.